What language does learning take place in on Wikipedia, and how does it show the larger power dynamics of language in our world today? This was the major question driving our data visualization project. We wanted to visualize how large the Wikipedias are for each language, showing how much knowledge can be accessed on Wikipedia by speakers of each language. Wikipedia is hugely important in our world today. 130 times larger than the Encyclopedia Britannica, Wikipedia is both a knowledge repository and a site of knowledge production. Because it is entirely user-generated, it changes who is producing knowledge, fitting into larger questions of power dynamics between languages today.
In our viz, each bubble represents a language. The size of the bubble correlates with the number of speakers of that language. The x-axis indicates the number of articles in a given language on Wikipedia. The y-axis indicates the number of users of Wikipedia from a given language. The color of the bubble indicates the region of origin. So even though English is the national language of the US, it is organized under Western Europe because that is its region of origin. If you click on a language like Chinese, a text box will appear in the top left with the number of speakers, number of articles, and number of users of that language in a given year. If you scroll over the year, you will be able to see how those numbers change over time. If you're interested in a specific region, you can scroll down to the map, select the region, and all the languages from that region will differentiate themselves. Right now we're in the logarithmic scale, which allows us to visualize all of the bubbles, but is a little evil. If we go to the linear scale, we can easily see that Wikipedia is dominated by English in terms of both articles and users. In order to make sense of the bubbles in that cluster in the bottom left, we offer more linear zoom options. We have zoomed, more zoomed, and super zoomed. And if you're interested in a specific language, we offer a search option to the left of the visualization.
Visualizations like ours raise a lot of questions about why the data is this way. For example, why does Chinese, despite having more speakers than English, have far fewer Wikipedia articles? This is likely because Wikipedia is banned in China. Instead, there's an online Chinese encyclopedia called Baike that is almost as large as the entirety of Wikipedia and its 200 plus languages. On Baike, there are 15 million articles, as opposed to the 900,000 articles on Chinese Wikipedia. South Asian languages are also unrepresented on Wikipedia. Just looking at India, Hindi is probably less represented because India is the second largest English-speaking country with 125 million English speakers, and so many people can use the English Wikipedia. Moreover, the majority of the population speaks various regional vernaculars rather than Hindi, and so the country is segmented into various Wikipedias. As for Africa, 900 million people speak either English, French, or Arabic, and so they can use those Wikipedias. Moreover, only 13.5% of the population has internet access.
One thing we noticed through this project was the impact of colonialism on indigenous languages. By choosing to sort the language grouping by language of origin rather than where languages are currently spoken, we can explore indigenous languages in North America, South America, and Oceania. One question that emerged from this was why are speakers of indigenous languages like Navajo writing Wikipedia articles in Navajo rather than English? Most speakers of Navajo using Wikipedia also use English, but as it turns out, producing web content like Wikipedia articles is an important part of indigenous language revitalization movements today. Wikipedia articles give youth that are learning Navajo something tangible to practice their language skills on.
Looking at our visualization, we found a few languages that behaved rather strangely. Take Swedish. We see it increasing in users and articles at a pretty linear rate until 2011, when the number of articles suddenly skyrockets. It turns out that in this year, a Swedish man created a bot that wrote hundreds of thousands of articles about plant taxonomy. In 2012, we see two Filipino languages, Cebuano and Waray-Waray, do the same thing. Following the massive growth of the Swedish Wikipedia, the creator of the bot offered it to these two Wikipedias. Both are smaller, less recognized languages than Tagalog, the main language of the Philippines, and so the Wikipedia expansion is part of an effort to gain official status. Now, at the end of 2016, Swedish is the second largest Wikipedia language, with Cebuano coming in third.
The great thing about this viz is that it illustrates the stories behind the languages spoken around the world. we see certain languages like Swedish, Cebuano, and indigenous languages trying to gain prominence by increasing their presence on Wikipedia. While at the same time, it is easy to see how many indigenous languages have been driven to extinction by colonialism and the dominance of languages like English, Spanish, and French. These stories and many more emerge under close examination, and we hope you take the time to explore.